Okay, so the first thing that I do, get it on bake, and I heat it up to about 220, okay? I pull out the top rack, move the bottom one all the way down to the lowest setting, and then I put two 2x4s typically in there, because you don't want the light to touch any metal at all, or else it will melt. The wood won't catch on fire, and it creates an environment for that light to get heated and become soft and malleable so you can open it up. Okay, next step after getting the oven all set up is you get your headlights all out. Honestly, when you're pulling them out, I would probably tape them off first, which I didn't. I should have. But I just used like a regular Scotch tape from like Home Depot and whatnot, and you're gonna cover the entire lens. All of the stuff that you would see when the hood is shut, you're gonna want to tape off with this for both lenses, so when you do tip it over and are wrenching on it to get the seals open and everything else behind it, you're not destroying the lens. So let's get started. Okay, now that we got them all taped off, I wrote careful on the ends here of the headlight, because this is the area when everyone's trying to pry into this area that they'll push and push, and then they'll break this corner edge here and like leave a chip off. Worst thing to do. Just take your time. I wrote careful on there just as like a reminder. But these are all taped off, and then to pry them apart, these are the tools that I use. It's like a little clip remover thing for your auto parts. This set of pliers actually opens as you squeeze them, and then this is paint can opener thing. I use this because as I'm prying, I'll pry with this primarily up here, and then once I get to an open spot, I shove this guy in here to keep the spot open so that I can pull the other one out and slowly move my way around the light. Now this next section, we're gonna take off everything. So you got your screws, your lights, your plugs, your plug down here. Everything needs to be removed that is metal. Even these things, once you pop out the light, set it aside, this rubber part comes out, but that part you leave in there. That's actually part of the projector, but you're gonna do that through all this, and then this guy is the other thing that stays. Boom. Okay, now when removing this section, this is your DRL, this is your daytime running light. This cork comes out, okay, and then in here you have this clip that needs to be undone, and then it'll all funnel out of the top, kind of like this. Boom. Now it's empty. Okay, here goes the first one. See how none of the edges are touching, front or back. That's what you want. Nothing touching. And then we're gonna leave it in there for 20 minutes. Okay, now we're just gonna repeat the process for the second headlight. We're gonna remove everything. Don't forget to remove this guy off the front of the headlights. There should be 5 screws, clip, all the lights, and whatever else goes on the back of the lights. Okay guys, with the headlights, I always start up top here, okay, and use this guy right here. Yeah, you push them in there, you get all the way to the back where you're gonna see the plastic, the clear plastic. You get under the plastic, you start prying up, do it slowly, and you'll see the sealant, the silicone sealant that they put in there start to separate. I work my way this way, and then I come all the way around, and on my first go of sticking it in the oven, I'll get somewhere around here. Then I stick it in for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay guys, now that we've moved along the whole backside, we've gone over to this section. This is gonna be the hardest section to kind of open up. Once you kind of get a lip under there and kind of lift it up, I shift straight over to here and the whole corner will come up. You move over to here. This is the hardest point to get up in the entire light. So this is the point where I shift over to this side and I start working my way around to this point again. Okay, so to kind of review these, so the way you want to pop these off is you're going to start up here, you work to the left, and you come all the way around to right over here. Then so you're not messing this area up, you jump to right here, pry it back, and this section should pop out. But you'll see this rubber sealant pulling away from the lens as you add pressure. Just go slow. Then over here, you want to use a flathead and one of these to get under these sections, making sure that you're not putting pressure on this section right here, because it will break. And then you just move your way along. It's gonna look ugly right now, but once you set that lens back in there, grab a heat gun, you melt all this back into place, and that's when you fill it with the micro bead of silicone to make sure nothing else is getting in the light. Okay, headlight number 2. I always put on gloves because the headlights come out hot. And you can kind of see the seal break once I get that thing in there. Okay, this is the section you want to be careful on, because you can break this whole plastic piece. So I usually run it, break the seal, and then I'll stick it down right here. And that's when I'll pry it up. Can I do it slowly? Put this guy in there. Go this way. Okay, so we got from here to about here on the first heat round. Now we're gonna throw it in the oven for about 10 more minutes. Okay, now for the second part. I'll open this thing up. This part right here underneath the main headlight, there's like an extra glue right in here. So I'm gonna start back up in here. Okay, this last part here, pry this baby in. You have to work this part extra slow. I'll even come from over here. Okay, guys, last part, I went all the way around. I kind of got everything loose. This pops up, and then I do this side and make sure everything's popped away. Shove this guy in here sometimes to make sure I get all these tabs like this. Then the last part is this end here. And you just kind of wiggle it back and forth and it kind of just peels away. Yeah. There we go.